Fine, sir.
Very good. Very good. So when they will give you result? So are you looking for change now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So which area you are looking actually? Core manufacturing or
Sir,
different?
doing study after doing the studies at college.
I can't hear you.
Sir, any area where I can use the Industry 4.0 concept or smart manufacturing concept.
Very good. So that company is using now 4.0, correct?
Yes, sir. They are one of leading solar panel manufacturers, and now they are planning to manufacture battery-related equipments for electrical vehicles.
Hmm. Very good. So when they are going to give you result?
So
They have given, or they will give you.
they will give result in next 2 to 3 days.
Okay, good. So where do you work now?
Sir,
Where do you work now?
sir, I am associated with Cyrus One. It is a software solution provider. I am working as a uh, data scientist as well advisory member,
Okay.
reporting to one of the board member, Mr. Kumar Prasoon.
Hmm. Very good.
You can also recommend me anywhere if you want.
And
How is your health, sir?
I'm not clearly running.
Sir, how is your health now, sir?
Health is good, no issue. So where are you now? In Ranchi or nearby?
Sir, I am in Ranchi.
Oh, you are in Ranchi. And how is situation? Corona situation there?
Very pathetic, sir.
Both states, I think, having same situation. We don't have enough hospital. Whole
Yes, sir.
country, suffering, but these two states, I think, suffering more,
Yes, sir.
and no one is taking care of this state. And whatever help we are getting from outside country, I think these two states are not getting it. I don't know
Yes, sir.
how they are allocating good things, but and our chief minister, at least I know Bihar, they are not talking about it. So if there is thing to central, then only I think they will get it. But they are also not ready.
Yes, sir.
Very bad situation. Actually.
Yes, sir.
So better not to go outside.
Yes, sir. Um,
And to just
from
be at
from
home.
from last 11 days, I am in home continuously.
Yeah, you have to be actually. So how project work is going on?
Sir, it's good. We are working on battery management system as a project. So we are one of the startup of Delhi-based startup. The company name is Electricita, and their MD is guiding us. And we are supposed to create a device that can extract the data from battery. Means the current value, current voltage and temperature, and uh, we can we can make a device, and we can provide it for so that they can use that device in their battery. Actually, they are lithium battery manufacturers.
So why not they get it from market, some sensor, and then get this values out of it?
Actually, it is a startup, sir, so they are going very slow. So they might get from marketing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
So good evening, guys. We will continue. Yeah, Radhika, just mute your mic. Hey, good evening, guys. Can you hear me properly?
Good evening,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Then anyone can summarize what we have learned last class? Who is going to do it?
Sir, in the last class, we discussed the convolution neural network. It is
Before that, okay. Only okay, so we have started it from convolution neural network, correct?
yes, sir.
Okay. Before that, we have discussed image, different types of image, and then
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
very good.
We discussed the convolution neural network that it is commonly used to analyze the images, and then we discussed the basic of the digital image. That is, the image consists of the pixel, that is the little square filled with one color, and it is ordered in a rectangular array, and the size of the image is determined by the dimension of this array. That means the number of column is the image width, and number of the row is the image height. And then we discuss the basic types of image. That is, first one is binary image, black and white image, 8-bit color format and 16-bit color format. And the last we discussed the layers of CNN. That is, first we discussed the convolution layer.
Okay, and then we took some example and see exactly how this convolution operation perform between the two array. Basically, when we deal about images, we have a matrix and then another function where we are going to use this convolution operation, and that also be a matrix actually. So basically, there is going to be a two matrix. Okay, so we had formula for convolution. F convolves with G, and then we had formula. We'll go back and see. So this is the method to get the convolution operation, and then we took two array A and B and perform convolution operation, correct? So we have ended our class at this point. So today we are going to see what are the different operations we do apart from convolution. So you people remember now how this back propagation works, because same way this CNN also going to be work. What we are going to do after some sorts of pre-processing and after some operation, we are going to use same neural network actually. Okay, so we have seen exactly how this convolution works on two functions. So we had considered example where we had A and B array, and then we have performed convolution operation. So convolution is element wise multiplication and then sum of all this. So first you have to multiply 5 with 1, 3 with 2 and 2 with 3. So you get 5, 6 and 6, and then you have to sum up. Correct? Remember or not? And then it will go and 3 to 5 multiply with 1 to 3. Then another sum will be 22. So in convolution neural network, exactly that input image, anyway it is going to be an array because this contain your pixels, and matrix which is going to convolve with also a matrix. So it may be it is a three-dimensional matrix here, but it is not necessary to be three-dimensional matrix. So this matrix we call it as a feature matrix or feature detector. How do I use pointer? Is it pointer or something? Pointer, yeah. Very good. So this is a feature detector, okay? Or this we also tell this is a filter, because a matrix is filtered by some another matrix, and we are getting a filtered matrix which is called feature maps. Okay, so basically what we have an input image which contains pixels convolved with a filter, and resulting matrix we are getting a matrix called feature maps. You can ask actually how this matrix, how we'll get this matrix. Can anyone tell based on the earlier class how this convolution will happen? How these numbers like 0, 1, 0, how these numbers are appearing? Because this is the resultant of convolution operation, what we are doing on pixel matrix with feature detector or filter matrix. This feature detector also called as a filter matrix. Okay, and then resultant matrix we are calling as a feature map. So anyone can try it out how we are getting this matrix. So I will tell you. First you have to take the 3 cross 3, first 3 cross 3. So if you have notebook, you can just note it down. For 3 cross 3 matrix will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So this 3 cross 3 matrix is going to multiply with this element wise multiplication with the feature detector. So 0 will go and multiply with 0, 0 with 1, and 0 with 0 with 0, and 0 with 1. So all become 0. So 0 likewise, all this go and multiply with this, resultant will be 0. Okay. So how this second element will come? So second matrix will come with multiplication of 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Multiply with 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1. So this will come as a 1. So do one exercise. We'll just want to see how this 4 is appearing in this position. Okay, then I think you will be a bit clear. Okay, yeah. So
Okay, sir.
okay, so what you have to do, I will tell you matrix, input matrix and convolution that another feature detector. You have to multiply and see this 4 is appearing or not. So this 4 is appearing when we multiply with 0, 0, 1. Just note it down, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1 with 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1. Just check it out. Are you getting 4 or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to check it out. So I will just repeat one more time. Input matrix. Anyway, it is very clear that feature detector. Then you have to see when you do convolution operation, are you getting 4 or not? Okay. So input matrix is going to be 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1. Okay. Just check it out. I will also try it out. Okay. And remember that you have to submit all this. Okay. Once you're done with it, let me know. And I think all of you have to try it out.
Sir, it is coming 4.
It is coming for.
Yes.
So first element will be 1, second element will be 1, and third element will be 2, and then if you add all this, you will get 4. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So all of you are getting this 4.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So you can just think actually how this feature detector, who will give you this feature detector? I am saying that this is some matrix. Who will give you this feature detector? In image processing, actually this is called a filter. In image processing, this type of matrix, they call it as a filter. And this is the human designed filter. Some filter is, and they have especially designed for a specific purpose. So sometimes they design to get the edge of the images. Sometimes they design filter to make image look contrast. Sometimes to make image blurry. So there are different purposes people design these filters in image processing usually. But in CNN, how do we get this filter? So this filter will come, or these numbers appearing in filters will come when you train your model. So these are the learned parameter or learned number. Okay. So during the training, this all number will appear. So based on the what type of information you want to capture from the pixels. Okay. Understood? Any confusion? So hope now you people are confident exactly how we do convolution operation. Okay, you have a pixel matrix, then pixel matrix will convolve with feature detector, and then you will have the feature map. So basically you can see now you have big numbers multiply with a filter. You have a bigger matrix multiplied with a feature detector, and now you have a feature map which is much reduced in size. Correct? So this is not going to be a single filter. There are multiple filters. We are not going to have a single filter. We are going to have multiple filters. Okay. So you will have multiple convolution layers. So let me know if you are not understanding theory. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
So basically, we are going to have multiple filter, and all filter is going to convolve with the input images and then create multiple convolution layers from a single feature, because it has to detect multiple features from the image. It may be, let's say you have a dog image. So one layer, one filter is going to, it may be going to detect dog nose. One filter is going to detect dog ear. So there are going to be multiple going to have multiple filters convolved with the input image and give you multiple feature map, or and it will have multiple convolution layers. So this is how this convolution works. Okay. So there is something called ReLU layer. After the convolution layer, we keep a ReLU layer. So basically, it transforms linear into non-linear. It do some transformation. So your images are not linear actually. It transform into non-linear. Okay. So this is the anyway we have seen this rectifier unit earlier. So it is going to work with this input images and then bring non-linearity into image. Just wait, I am coming. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. I'll just come. Okay, boss. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So after some time, I will share this PPT with you people. You also go through it, and I think it will be helpful. Okay. So after this, we will do some non-linear transformation of our pixels, or what you call the feature map. So basically what it is doing, whatever negative part you have now, you just surplus it to 0. So what it's saying, it will pass it through every pixel and then take the maximum of it. Okay, so that's how it is doing it. And if you want to understand exactly what are the different things you have, like ReLU, which is bringing non-linearity in the convolution layers. So you can read this paper. Okay, this is not much big actually, highly 8 to 10 page paper. Okay, another concept is max pooling. So you can see there are 3 cheetahs. Okay. So what are the difference between these 3 cheetahs? Can anyone tell me? While looking what you can see from this.
Sir, image, position, and aspect ratio.
Correct. So one cheetah is looking the front, another image are rotated, another image is like that aspect ratio is high. Correct. So both represent same figure, but orientation or it may be contrast are different. So somehow we have to tell our neural network or convolution neural network that, okay, boss, these are all 3 images belong to same cheetahs. You don't identify it as a cat. You have to identify this as a cheetahs only, because these are the cheetah only. During the image they have taken it differently, or they have just did some image processing and make same image differently. Okay, so how we are going to do? And you can see there are a lot more cheetahs actually. So one cheetah is sitting here, another is just roaming here and there, and cheetahs looking at us. So different cheetahs actually, there are different peaks, same cheetahs, but different positions. So how that neural network identify this all as a cheetahs only? And that's what max pooling is doing. Okay, so what we have till now, what we have. So what we have done, we had pixel image, we have done convolution operation using filter, and then we have feature map. Correct? What we have is a feature map. So feature map is very specific about the position. Okay, so they extract information of the images and they are very particular about the position, like where that ear is, where that nose is, how that particular image, whether it is in standing position, sitting position. They are very specific about the location. Okay, so even if you change slightly, if you change the make some slight changes using image processing, like you just reduce the size of the image, or you just increase the size, or decrease brightness, increase brightness, it will completely create different types of feature map. Okay, and that will be very difficult to identify the image again. So it may happen that when cheetah change the position, it may identify it not as a cheetah. Okay. So what happened? So they are very specific about the positions of the pixels. Basically, you can understand in this way. They are very specific about the pixels, where the particular pixel belong. What is the pixel for that nose? How does nose look? All these things. Okay. And same problem with the image processing actually. So what they used to do is they just downsample the features. And what that downsampling means? So how many have heard about the downsampling? So what actually we do in machine learning? Have you heard about feature reduction technique? Anything?
Yes, sir. We have heard about principal component analysis.
So what it does actually in this? So basically, they just reduce the redundant features, correct?
Yes.
So they just reduce the dimensions and only extract the important features out of it. And same thing max pooling is doing for the neural network. In layman term, we have to understand like this. Okay, basically we are, and this is also called downsampling actually. Max pooling also another name is downsampling. Just write it down. So basically, you have to reduce the size of the feature map. And how do we do it? So we have feature map. So we have to create a patch of the feature and then something called either max pooling or you have to use average pooling. So basically, you have to create a different patch. And what is meaning of patch? We'll get it into next slide. So we have to create different patch and then get the relevant information from the patch. Okay. So we'll come what is patch actually. Let me take this pointer. Yeah. So patch is again, so this is the feature map. So you have to take that, let's say you are taking a one patch of this image. So 0011. Okay. So this is, let's say this is the one patch of image. So in this, what are the maximum numbers present in this? That will come as a here in downsampled mapped pooled feature map. Okay, understood? So you have to first create a patch. Let's say it is a 2x2 patch. This is the matrix. And then you have to take the max of this. Whichever the max of this feature map, you have to bring it here. So next patch will be 111. So another will be 010. Okay. So this is going to be one patch. This is going to be another patch. So this is going to be. So it is not necessary that always you have to bring 2x2 matrix. Now here we have only this, only 1x2. So 0, 0. So this matrix is 0. Understood or not? Let me know.
No, sir.
Hello? Understood? So basically here also we are doing same thing actually. We are just taking the relevant feature out of the all features. And that basically we are doing downsampling. We have 4 elements here. Out of 4 elements, we are just taking the max of that all element. So that is 1. Another is this matrix. We are again taking this as a 1 and then this 1. So come to this matrix 1 0 0 4. So 4 is maximum. So 4 is here. 1 2 2 1. So max is 2. It is here. And 1 0. So max is 1. Come to this 0. So 0 0 0 1 2 2 and 1. So last matrix will be 1. Okay, so one is max pooling. Max pooling say that whichever patch you have considered, what are the maximum numbers appearing, you just take it out. That is max pooling. Another is average pooling. Okay, take the average out of it. So usually people use max pooling. So we are also using max pooling here. So this is the whole workflow. Okay, so you had pixel image which we have construct. From that we got the pixel convolved with the filter. We have this feature map, multiple feature map, because it convolved many times with the different feature, and then this go through the pooling steps. So we have pooling layer. Okay, so this is called pooled feature map. So feature map transformed into pooled feature map. So why not do one thing? Actually, I will give you this. Can you open this website? We'll go through this. Can you open this? Just check. All of you open this. All of you open this. Let me know once you open this. Done?
So can you forward the link, sir?
Yes.
Done, sir.
Done?
Yes.
See, this guy has done, then I think you people have to do it.
Sir, when we type cs dot, it automatically come in the.
Yeah. Why not you do it? Do this. Do some work also. You will feel happy. And once you are able to open it, let me know. So are you people able to open it? Let me know. We'll go to PPT. Try to open this. How many of you are able to open this? Or shall I send it?
Yes, sir.
All are able to do it?
Yes, sir. It
Very good. So why not you go and write a letter here? Go for do it. Can you go and write 5 here? Like 5. Can you go and write 5 here?
okay. Yes, sir.
So what you can see here, 5 you can see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me do one thing actually. What's happening? I think because I'm sharing it, some problem actually. So you can see actually first layer is your convolution layer. Okay. So you can see there convolution layer. Okay. So basically what this application is doing is same thing actually. So it is doing classification. So you have written whatever numbers you write it, it will say, then it will try to predict it. What is that number? So it say it is first guess is 3, second guess is 5. It may be they are also not able to predict it clearly, or we have not wrote it clearly. What happened? Can you people try to write it and see how that prediction is coming?
In my case, the first guess is 5. Second guess is 9.
See, now I am also writing correct 5. See, the first guess is now 5. So you can see if, convolution layer. So these are the convolution layer. So I have some issue actually. Okay. So you can see this is the image. After convolution image, they have just created different way of writing 5. Correct? Correct.
Yes, sir.
So these are what happened? I am listening my echo actually. Let me reconnect it. Now it is okay. Okay, we have written 5 and then they also have guess. First guess is 5, second guess is 7. Okay, so basically same CNN whatever we are learning here, it is running in this application. At backend, this application is running, and you can see this is 5. It convolved through different filter, and now you have different images of 5. Some of the images very clearly you can identify. Some of the images difficult to identify by a human, like the right hand side images. Okay, so it identify. It look like 3, and then next step is max pooling for every convolved images. This is the max pool or downsampled image. So still this 5 we are able to identify. Downsampled means only we have converted to the important information. Irrelevant information we have just filtered it out or removed it. So still we can identify this as a 5, this as a 5, and then few more images are on top of this. So if you can see, so you can see, if you want to see that which are the convolution layer, just hide it. So you can see that above this 4, 5, that layer get hide out, means that was the convolution layer. And this is the max pooling layer. So down sampling layer is max pooling layer, and then convolution second layer. So that this is convolution second layer, like down. So related to convolution second layer, this is the down sampling layer. Understood that operation? So this is the original image of 5. What we have written it 5 here, this appear in this board. This pixel now convolved with the different filter. Now we have the convolved filter, or we can say that this is the feature map. This feature map go through that max pooling operation, and this is the images after max pooling, and then we have different layer of convolution and max pooling subsequently. Understood? Any doubt? So why we have different layer? So how it will work? So first layer we will try to identify the edges of the image. Okay, and then from the second layer they will try to find the shape of the image, trend present in the image. Okay, so likewise that the way it go deeper and deeper, it will go and extract the more get the more information from the image, and at the end of that layer they will predict whether it is cheetah, cat or dog, or that belong to any digits. Okay, understood? Any doubt? Boss, you have to tell me.
Clear, sir.
Clear? You can now try different thing. Actually, I think you have okay. The eraser is there. What is this? The cross is basically eraser. You can try different numbers. 7. Let's see. The first guess they took 3 actually. Second guess. So I think they have to train it properly. This model. But good thing is they are giving some sorts of visualization, exactly how the convolution layer, how that image will look after max pooling, how this image will look after convolution. So they are giving some nice visualization. So good to have this, good to see this. Let me try 4. Now my image look good. So first guess 9, second. So second guess seems to be doing good job. Correct. What about you people? You also try some different and see how this looks. Are you able to make first guess correct? Can you try different thing and look? I don't know why this is giving second guess at 4 because image is also clear on this. Have you tried it out?
Yes, sir.
Very good. What is your first guess? It coming correct?
Yeah, in my case, almost first guess is correct.
It may be I am sharing a screen and then information is not transferring correctly to model or some region. But anyway, this is good tool actually. You just try it out and see how does it work. Okay, then now it is very simple actually. You have pooled feature map. You have to just flatten it out. And what that flattening it out means, you have to create all this row into a big, all this into a big array. So first row will be first, and then you have to stack second row, and then you have to stack third row. So this is going to be, so this process is called flattening. You have to basically from a matrix, you have to stack all your row and create a feature matrix. So this is going to be a feature for network. So just to summarize it, you had a pixel matrix, you have done some convolution operation using filter, you have convolution layer, you have done pooling, basically max pooling, you have pooling layer. Once you have the pooling layer, you have to flatten your matrix and you have the input layer for neural network. And this is from this, once we have this, so this is going to be a input and we are expert on training actually. So this is going to be a feature map. So we know exactly how we have to do training, neural network training. Okay. So who is going to explain back propagation here? Anyone can try it out. Those who explain, they will get 5 marks because this is important thing. Try it out how this back propagation work here. Back propagation
So,
we have
hello. So in the forward, first we'll do a forward loop, or I will predict the result. After that, then we'll calculate the losses using the loss function. Then it will adjust the weights, and this will be done by the taking the gradients. Then again the loop will go and then calculate the loss. Then again do the same thing over and over again.
Okay. So all of you have understood this? So basically you have now flatten array. Now this is connected with hidden layer, and then so all of this neuron connected neuron associated with a weight. So we make a initial guess of this weight, and then this input in transform through this hidden layer will come to the output layer where it matches with the output. That error will go and back propagated, and then weight and bias will get adjusted accordingly, and this thing will happen in the loop unless that based on our criteria that how many times we want to update our weight. Correct? That is number of epoch you have to choose. If you say 100 times this iteration will happen, and 100 times that weight will get updated. So one thing you can say that, okay, now we are solving a binary classification problem. Basically here you can say we are interested to identify dog and cat, correct? So according to all our previous classes, we had methodology actually to solve binary classification problem, correct? Where we have only one output. We had two class, but usually we had one output, but here you can see there are two output, correct? Last time also we have solved one problem, classification problem, where we had only one output, but two class, we were predicting two class. Do you remember case study? Which case study we have solved in ANN case study? Churn analytics, correct? Whether it is going to be churn or not. So there also we had two class, but we have used only one output in the output layer. But here we have two output, dog and cat. Why we have two output here? Why do we have two output here, dog and cat? Why not only one? Why not only one output? Because this is going to be image, correct? So we are going to train with dog image. You are not going to play with numbers. So they are going to be have a dog image and cat image. So that's why we are going to deal with the image. Now we are playing with image. So that was slightly different. So you have to, if there are n number of species present in your database, you have to create n number of output neurons in the output layer, correct? You have to understand all this. That time we had either 0 and 1, and we are also predicting a continuous number using sigmoid function, and then that is converting into binary based on the threshold. Remember or not? Do you remember How did you solve
Yes,
that
sir.
case study? Correct. Same way we have solved it. At the output layer, we have used a sigmoid function, and then based on the output, it was resulting from 0 to 1, and we have kept a threshold. We say that if it is more than 0.5, we consider it as a class A. If it is less than 0.5, it will consider class B. But this is not the case with the image actually. All this we have to consider together: dog image, cat image, and then train it our network. Understood? So this is the how this thing correct. First class I told why we are not going to use a pixel as a input for our neural network. Now you understood now why we cannot use pixel as an input. We have to transform this pixel into different. We have to do different transformation on this pixel and create a feature map. That is, at the end we are getting pooled feature map. We are flattening this pooled feature map, and then that we are using as a feature. So if you have, let's say, 252 or 256 cross 256 matrix, that is a pixel matrix. So if you flatten that, so how much you will get? How much? What will be dimension actually? So that will be 256 into 256. So no, it will not. It's a 256 into 256. So 65,536. So that will be very complicated network. But after doing all this, what you will get? A very small matrix which will pass it through. After this all operation, whatever I taught you, after that you will get a small matrix which you flatten and pass it through your neural network. So basically we have, after several operations, we have just reduced the dimension of our matrix while capturing most important features of the images. So this is how this convolution neural networks work. So theory, I think we are done with theory. Okay. Okay, boss. We'll meet.
sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So someone had a question actually. So if anyone have question, they can stay. Others can leave now. Or if no one has question, we'll leave together. I think someone
So,
had asked about data science, something.
yes, sir. Yes.
Career in
Um,
data science.
so I have asked Sajid.
Yeah, Sajid, tell me.
So I was asking that give some tips for easy transition in this field.
Okay. So till now, what you have done? Where is your base?
I have done several projects, but it's very difficult to do the transition. I've applied for several jobs also in many companies, but no
So what?
response till now.
Huh?
No response till now, sir.
So you have to keep applying actually.
Okay, sir.
And now COVID things are going on. That's why I think so. But one thing is you have to understand the concept. So yesterday I was taking one interview. That guy told, and that guy is from IIT Madras. Actually, he was working with a very renowned professor. So he told, that's why we have selected him for interview. And that guy told that machine learning is nothing, and that's all he started actually. And then he does not have any background, just he was bluffing. So what I am trying to say, you just try to understand some concept, mathematics actually, at least few things where mathematics is not tough, like linear regression. You have to understand, like what I taught you in random forest. That is very important actually. And first you have to make based on machine learning, and then only you have to move on what you call deep learning or some. Still, India, what I believe, if you are good in machine learning, that's good enough. But you have to be theoretically sound. Then only you can solve real-time project. Okay, so there are few things you have to be, if you want to make career in data science. So you have to be strong in your field, means data science field, and then another thing is domain actually. So that you don't have to be strong. So domain part, so it will come from the company side for whom you are going to work actually. Okay, so I work with lots of companies. So what I feel is only have to be strong with the data science part, and domain actually they will bring with them. So they will help you to understand the thing. Okay, but I think mathematics you have to be good in mathematics. What I understand from last 5-6 years actually, not 5-6 years actually. My PhD was also in same thing. You have to be good in math. Okay.
Okay.
So try to learn concept, and whatever you learn, try to implement it. First, start with linear regression. Actually, I asked that guy what is linear regression. He didn't answer it actually. So that is the fundamental concept. And if you want to learn linear regression, it is not only to fit linear regression model on whatever data you have given it. Get the insight. So I don't know whether I talked about the workflow. Let's say if someone give you data set, how do we approach problem? They'll say that, okay, boss, this is the, it may be sometimes they'll give you business problem, or sometimes business problem itself is too vague. So first of all, you have to understand exactly business problem, and then let's say all these are defined. You are data scientist, and now they ask you to develop some predictive model. They've given you data exactly. How do you develop it? Let's say someone asks you to develop a linear regression model. How do you do it? Same question I have asked him. I will not go ask about that what is max pooling, what is, I know that if they are good at in this part, they even they don't know the deep learning part, they can pick up. And all does not have to be like a hero. No? So if they know this part very well, they can pick up easily. So what step you will take? How do you develop a model?
We'll do exploratory analysis. Then we'll see how the results are coming using suitable matrix. Matrix will depend on the requirement.
Let's say, that's why I told now we have to be very clear about the wording and all. So you directly went to that validation actually. We will not go like this actually. So you told exploratory data analysis, that's good actually. You have to do exploratory data analysis. You have to see exactly how these features are correlated with the output response. You have to do some sorts of correlation analysis to see that which of the feature seem to be redundant feature, which, because I told you to develop a linear regression model. If I say that develop a non-linear regression, I don't care about the redundancy and all. Let model pick. But particularly since I told you to develop a linear regression model, these are the steps you have to follow. And then one thing is you have to do some sorts of optimization to estimate the parameters. So sometimes interviewer asks exactly how to formulate a least square optimization problem. So these are the important things we have to. So good thing is start with linear regression, go with random forest, both classification. Yeah, another is binary classification. What that method called? Logistic regression. No? Logistic regression. Write it down actually. First you go each bit of concept you have to learn linear regression modeling. Then you have to learn about logistic regression, then random forest. Then you have to learn about dimensional reduction technique, that is PCA actually. Okay, these are the very important concept. And why do we want to reduce dimension? Because we want to get rid of the redundant variable. Redundant variable means variable which have same information what other variables have. So that's one variable called as redundant variable, and that's not necessary here. You just remove that variables. So you have to know what are the dimension reduction techniques. Okay, and then you have to also know what are the unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning means whatever clustering and all. So you should know what is the k-mean clustering, what is the hard clustering, what is soft clustering. So it is k-mean clustering, fuzzy C-mean clustering, density-based clustering. So at least you should know 3-4 clustering approach here. At least you should know 3-4 regression methodology, 3-4 classification actually. Okay. Okay. But start
Okay, sir.
with linear regression. Don't jump on deep learning right now. Start if you want to really want to make career. You have to start from scratch. Try to understand the math behind it. Some of the concept already I told you. Rarely you will find the way I taught you this. What you call the random forest. I'm not teaching this. So I try to simplified math, but crux of the things I've given you. If you explain same way to interviewer what is the entropy when you are going to explain what is random forest, how decision tree works, and if you explain actually how that split happen and what are the metrics used for the split, what is the entropy, what is the information gain, then they will feel happy actually. Okay, so try to understand all these concepts. That is very, then only you can justify your thing. Okay. Any help, you just ask me. If you are not able to understand any topic on machine learning or deep learning, but start with machine learning. Okay. If you are not able to understand any concept on machine learning, just message me a day before. I will just prepare a slide and then bring it. Okay.
Okay,
But
sir.
start with this, because so if you know concept, you can solve problem. You know that actually if you are solving a, let's say, a linear regression model, and if you are getting a singular matrix while estimating parameter theta, and if you are mathematically sound, then only you will say that why this why we are getting singular matrix and not able to estimate parameters. So that is important actually. That's why I told each and every bit at least few algorithms you should know. And every time you can use same algorithm, no issue. One thing I didn't taught you actually, that's the SBR modeling. So there's so many questions I got it on this. So let's say you have a data set and data set size is less than 100. It may happen that random forest is very versatile algorithm. It works on almost all data, but sometimes what happens that small size it may not work well because we don't know exactly when overfitting happen, and then you can still, if you are expert actually, you can tune your hyperparameter like depth of the tree, other things, and then get rid of this overfitting. But another best algorithm what I see is this SBR model, and I have used it in several projects actually. At least 4 projects till now I have used this because every time I get a small data set, and this is my if I get less data set less than 100, I will go and use this model. Okay, if you have a small data set, try it out this model, SBR model. And this has lots of flexibility. It can handle linear, non-linearity features. All the things they can handle it because they have powerful transformation approach that is called kernel transformation, which transform your input to a high dimensional space. So that's all very beautiful concept, and that is SBR model. Okay. So even though we are not going to touch this, but keep it in mind. That model always work for me. It will work for you also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you let me know whatever the confusion or doubt, whatever you have with machine learning, ask me. I will give you solution. Or even in your ongoing project, that will be good. So project is a good learning. So if you do it correctly, I think that will be the good strong point in your resume. So you can just write it that you have done this project. And what I think is that there are lots of data science companies. You just keep trying. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir. Thank you.
and all. Bye. Good night. We'll meet on Thursday or it on Monday. Okay.
Sir, SBR is different from SVM.
So first they have started SBM only. Okay. So that is for classification, and this is for regression.
Okay.
Okay. So, but there are slightly different approach. But yes, this is part of the SBM family only. SBR model is also part of. So whatever kernel transformation and different kernel you have seen it in SBM model, same thing applicable in SBR also, but different way. But both belong to same family of SBM.
Okay.
Okay, that's very beautiful algorithm, I think, and powerful also. And it work for me, it will work for you also. If you have a small data, if you have large data, lots of algorithms are there. We don't have too much worry. But mostly manufacturing data is only small data set. If it is not coming from sensors, if it is a lab data, that's very small. Okay, guys. Bye. Good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, sir.